Here are today's top stories. The DILG warns cops that resell seized illegal drugs to resign and surrender to authorities. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas dismisses calls to use a fixed exchange rate amid the weakening of the peso. And weightlifter Heidelin Diaz delivers the first gold medal for the Philippines in the Asian Games. Good day, I'm Pia Rosas Maroto. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Russia's offer of a Kilo-class diesel-electric submarine to the Philippine Navy is likely to be tackled during the visit of Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana to Moscow. Lorenzana is meeting with his Russian counterpart, Minister Sergei Shoigu, to discuss possible areas of cooperation. Russia earlier expressed interest to provide its Kilo-class submarine to the Philippines via soft loan. Aside from Russia, 3 other countries have expressed interest to supply the Philippine Navy with diesel-electric submarines. Defense spokesperson Arsenio Andolong says they are now studying the offers of South Korea and France, as well as a supposed offer from Indonesia. Lorenzana earlier stressed the need for submarines to augment maritime defense for an archipelago like the Philippines. The Commission on Higher Education, or CHED, has reimbursed almost all state universities and colleges for the academic year 2017-2018. This is CHED's response to a Commission on Audit report on its low utilization of the 8 billion peso budget for the free tuition law. CHED officer in charge, J. Prospero de Vera III, said the balance left from the fund is being processed for reimbursements for midterm claims and for some that have appealed and presented additional billings in the same academic year. Only the Philippine Merchant Marine Academy and the Adyong Memorial Polytechnic State College have not yet been reimbursed. De Vera, however, acknowledged delays in the reimbursement which were caused by the difference between the fiscal year and the academic year. De Vera also said a special provision to prioritize poor but deserving students required SUCs to include claims and income-based ranking of their students in their reimbursement. The Department of Tourism has apologized to tourists affected by the runway mishap at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. The DOT promised to extend all possible assistance it can give to the passengers inconvenienced by the incident. The agency remains optimistic that the incident would not deter the growth of tourist arrivals to the Philippines. The DOT also expressed full support to the Department of Transportation's move for the improvement of policies to address possible aviation emergencies. Meanwhile, the Department of Foreign Affairs assured overseas Filipino workers affected by the canceled and disrupted flights that they will receive assistance from all embassies and consulates abroad. Hundreds of domestic and international flights were canceled when a Xiamen Air passenger aircraft skidded off a runway at NAIA last week. Corrupt cops who recycle and sell illegal drugs are urged to leave their jobs and change their ways or face the consequences. DILG-OIC Secretary Eduardo Año gave this message as a warning to the so-called ninja cops. Policemen involved in illegal drugs are also given the option of surrendering to their higher-ups. Año assured that ninja cops who turn themselves in will undergo due process. The Commission on Human Rights earlier expressed alarm over President Rodrigo Duterte's pronouncement of giving a 5 million peso reward for every neutralized ninja cop. Still to come, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas dismisses calls to use a fixed exchange rate amid the weakening of the peso. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Ulat sa ginagawa ng Presidente. August 13, Lunes, Malacanang. Pinanumpa ni Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte ang halos 200 bagong talagang government officials. Nag-send-off ceremony siya para sa mga manlalaro ng Pilipinas sa nalapit na 18th Asian Games na gaganapin sa Indonesia.
As we send our best men and women in the 18th ASEAN Games, remember that you do not only compete for yourselves, but also carry with you the pride of your families, your communities, and the entire Filipino nation.
August 14, Martes, Malacanang. Nag-courtesy call kay Pangulong Duterte si Japanese Ambassador Koji Haneda. Tinanggap ng Pangulo ang isang portrait mula sa artist na si Maki Bungabong. Dumalo siya sa Pilipinas Angat Lahat program ng Go Negosyo. Tinanggap din ng Pangulo ang replika ng Marawi Filipino-Chinese Friendship Dome, ang 200 milyong pisong multi-purpose center na bigay ng Filipino-Chinese community para sa mga biktima ng Marawi siege. Kinagabihan ay nakipaghapunan naman ang Chief Executive sa mga miyembro ng kabisanan ng mga broadcaster ng Pilipinas. August 15, Miyerkules, Malacanang. Nag-courtesy call sa Pangulo si Qatar Deputy Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani upang palakasin pa ang ugnayan ng Pilipinas at Qatar. Tinanggap ni Pangulong Duterte ang 32.03 billion pesos dividend remittances mula sa ilang government-owned and controlled corporations sa pagdiriwang ng GOCC Day sa Malacanang. Ako po si Secretary Martin Andanar at ito ang Duterte on Duty. Abangan sa susunod na linggo ang mga gagawin ng Pangulo.
The Department of Tourism is aiming for at least 5,000 Boracay Hotel and Resort rooms opened on October 26. DOT Under Secretary Arturo Bongcato says Boracay will have a soft opening for tourists to gradually return to the island. Around 20,000 rooms are possibly available for occupancy in the island. With 5,000 rooms for the opening, the DOT will add more rooms depending on the number of establishments that will comply with government requirements. During a one-stop session in Boracay, at least 300 of the total 440 establishments applied for permits and clearances. Apart from a soft opening on October 26, the DOT is crafting a 3-month campaign to reintroduce a rehabilitated Boracay both to local and international tourists. The Department of Finance is proposing further increasing excise taxes on alcoholic beverages. Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III said these tax hikes are being considered not primarily to raise revenues, but to lessen consumption by the poor and address ballooning costs for the government. These higher rates are included in the proposed Package 2 Plus of the Comprehensive Tax Reform Program that the DOF has submitted to Congress. Of the total collections from alcohol, 70% are from beer, while the remaining 30% are from the other alcoholic beverage products. Finance Assistant Secretary Tony Lambino has also said that for 2020, the estimated revenue gains from sin products is around 61.3 billion pesos and 77.6 billion in 2021. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas warns against doing away with the current flexible exchange rate policy amid the weakening of the peso against the dollar.
The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas is firm on maintaining the use of the current market-determined exchange rate policy. The policy has drawn its share of criticism due to the local unit's current weakness against the US dollar. However, monetary and fiscal officials said the peso's depreciation is not a sign of weakness. BSP Governor Nestor Espinilla Jr. said the central bank deliberately keeps a flexible exchange rate policy to protect the economy and sustain its resiliency. He said pegging the peso to a certain level like 50 pesos to a dollar is not a good idea. The central bank chief explained that stubbornly holding on against very strong pressures may empty the country's reserves. BSP data showed that as of end July 2018, the country's gross international reserves amount to 76.89 billion US dollars. Espinilla adds that for businesses, a fixed exchange rate will encourage investors to borrow more abroad, leading to deficits. Filipino exporters will also have a hard time growing their businesses if exchange rates are not able to adjust to shifting prices. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Bench Bondo.
Bulacan Governor Wilhelmino C. Alvarado has called on concerned government agencies to help address the perennial flooding in the province. The governor believes the only thing that can resolve the present flooding problem is proper water management, particularly in the operation of the Angat Dam. Alvarado urged the government to stop releasing water without the knowledge of local government units. Parts of Kalumpit and Hagonoy are still under 1 to 2 feet of flood water even despite the absence of rainfall in the past few days. Alvarado said the floods remain due to the waters coming from Pampanga and Nueva Ecija and the continuous release of water from Bustos Dam. Alvarado earlier suggested the creation of more mini dams in Nueva Ecija and the Candaba Swamp to prevent flash floods in coastal areas and make it a source of potable surface water and irrigation. Ilonggos and personalities in the fashion industry continue to mourn the loss of fashion icon Alex Gonzalez Soncho. The fashion designer died at the age of 56 due to complications of chronic kidney disease. Soncho was known for his unique bridal gown designs as owner of Iloilo-based clothing line Alta Moda. Soncho was also the executive director of the Miss Iloilo Dinagyang search for the past 7 years. Soncho was often praised for his contributions to the local pageant and in molding the candidates towards an awareness of relevance in the community. Meanwhile, Mayor Jose Espinosa III extended his condolences, says Soncho was responsible for bringing glory not just to the city, but to all Ilongas. Up next, weightlifter Heidelin Diaz delivers a first gold medal for the Philippines in the Asian Games. Pag-asa monitors a possible weather disturbance forming over the West Philippine Sea. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Nagpasalamat mi sa atong gobyerno ni President Rodrigo Duterte sa iyang gihatag nga kayuhan para sa mga saop nga mao'y makahatag kayuhan o kaugmaon ng mga kabos.
Atin ang pinapatupad ng masugid yung atin pong batas na kung saan ay pwede natin bawiin yung lupa doon sa mga magsasaka na nabigyan na at ipapamigay muli natin ito sa mga talagang magsasaka na talagang willing magbungkal ng lupa. Ngayon, yung mga bumili, kahit na sila gumastos na ng pera, sorry na lang, hindi na may sosoli yun sapagkat alam naman nila, unang-una pa lang, na bawal at labag sa batas ang bumili ng mga lupa within the 10-year restrictive period na nakuha dahil sa pamamagitan ng Certificate of Land Ownership Award.
The Philippines bags its first gold in the 18th Asian Games with the help of weightlifter Heidelin Diaz. The Olympian topped the women's 53-kilogram event in weightlifting with a total lift of 207 kilograms. Turkmenistan's Kristina Shermetova lifted 206 kilograms to win the silver medal, while Thailand's Surudchana Chambao clinched the bronze with a total lift of 201 kilograms. Maria Deza de los Santos placed 8th among 12 entries with a total lift of 180 kilograms. Meanwhile, the Armed Forces of the Philippines extended its congratulations to Diaz, a member of the Philippine Air Force. The AFP says it is proud of Diaz for her perseverance and diligence, which catapulted her from humble beginnings to international prominence. Gilas Pilipinas lost to China in a close fight despite the help of Jordan Clarkson in 18th Asian Games basketball competition. Gilas Pilipinas came alive in the last quarter but fell short and eventually bowed to China 80-82. Despite his endgame heroics, Stanley Pringle committed a huge turnover that sparked China's own comeback bid as Clarkson's debut with Gilas went down the drain. Paul Lee had one last crack for Gilas at 45 seconds left, but his three-pointer rimmed out. Zuki tallied 25 points, 12 rebounds and 7 blocks for China, which can lock in the top seed in Group D with a win against Kazakhstan. Clarkson put up 28 points, 8 rebounds and 4 assists for Gilas, which still has a good chance of going through the next round if they win their next games. It's the children's turn to receive aid as private groups through Task Force Marawi flock to the city to provide clothes, toys, and medical services. More on this from Sweet Lukman.
Dubbed Reviving Peace with the Marawi Children Towards a World in Harmony, private organizations provided aid to the displaced children of Marawi City who are currently sheltered in Biyaya ng Pagbabago Transitional Shelter Site, Barangay Sagunsongan. The private organizations include Rotary Club Uptown Iligan District 3870, Integrated Philippine Association of Optometrists, Iligan Lanao Chapter, and the Fraternal Order of Eagles, PENM Region 2, Tawan-Tawan Hills Eagles Club. The aid for children were provided during the conduct of the Moral Recovery and Psychosocial Intervention Program organized by Task Force Bangon Marawi. IPAO conducted free eye examination and targeted to give free 200 pairs of eyeglasses. Dr. Lilibeth Imperial Dabatos, Vice President of IPAO Iligan Lanao Chapter and President of Rotary Club of Uptown Iligan District 3870 said,
We are giving out free eye examination and even free eyeglasses. We're trying to give at least 200 pairs of glasses. That's from our organization.
Meanwhile, the Department of Tourism through the Iligan City Tourism Office distributed toys, shirts, bags, and caps to the children. Free ice creams were also given by the Fraternal Order of Eagles, Tawan-Tawan Hills Eagles Club. Monera Tambog Macabago expressed her gratitude to the private organizations for making her children happy. The Philippine Army also helped in facilitating the distribution. Together with Lou Antonio for PNA Newsroom, Sweet Lukman, Philippine Information Agency.
Weather Bureau Pag-asa is monitoring a cloud cluster that may develop into a low-pressure area in the coming days. The possible weather disturbance was seen forming over the West Philippine Sea. The Weather Bureau also continues to observe 2 typhoons outside the Philippine area of responsibility, namely Typhoon Cimarron and Sulik, both sea northeast of extreme northern Luzon. Both typhoons are enhancing the southwest monsoon affecting western Luzon. Ilocos and Cordillera regions, Zambales, Batanes, and Babuyan group of islands will have cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take another look at today's top stories. The DILG warns cops that resell seized illegal drugs to resign and surrender to authorities. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas dismisses calls to use a fixed exchange rate amid the weakening of the peso. And weightlifter Heidelin Diaz delivers the first gold medal for the Philippines in the Asian Games. Thank you for watching another edition of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter. For more stories about the government and how it serves the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the latest news and information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm Pia Rosas Morato. Good day.